This is Dr. Pratima back with you again. I am faculty in Physics, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Let us discuss Ruby laser. Before we go into this Ruby laser, which is a part of your module 3, which is in the first section, let us see the topics which are covered in my previous lecture. We have seen the history of laser. We have seen the difference between laser and light and the characteristics of laser which makes it so specific when compared to light, leading to many applications. We have seen spontaneous emission and stimulated emission and the differences between them, and we have seen the stimulated absorption and what are the conditions which we can reduce the stimulated absorptions to happen in a specific system, and we have seen the conditions to attain laser, which is population inversion, and the experimental arrangement which was required to attain the population inversion, which is optical resonating cavity. And we have even looked into more conditions where we can achieve these particular things in a more effective way for an amplified stimulated emission for an effective laser to come out. So in this particular topic of Ruby laser, first we should understand what is ruby crystal. Ruby crystal was first studied by Theodor Neumann, who invented laser from it and mentioned it as ruby laser or even Neumann laser after his name in 1960. If you look into the ruby crystal, the main composition is aluminum oxide, and you will have to dope it. What is meant by doping? You can recollect from the second module of semiconductors, which we have seen in my previous video lectures. Doping is nothing but you add some extra or external atoms into the host lattice. So the host lattice here is aluminum oxide. So you dope chromium atoms and you mention them as impurities normally. So very little weight percentage, which is 0.05% you add, and this will enhance the color of the ruby crystal. So you can see on the picture the raw ruby crystals, but if you have to study it for the laser, you will have to have a nice cut-edged crystal, very well polished. You can see cylindrical and rectangular cross-sectional areas of a polished ruby crystal. And the gain medium, as I have told you, for laser you need three components. One is gain medium, one is the pumping source, and one is the optical resonating cavity. So the gain medium here is a cylindrical ruby rod. So you need to have a rod of 10 centimeters long and 0.5 centimeters diameter and ground it properly on either sides so that they are exactly parallel and perpendicular to the axis of the rod. And the pumping source here, what you use is a flash lamp which is helical in shape. Normally, the flash lamps were long, like your tube lights. But Neumann took the helical flash lamp because he want the lamp or the source to concentrate on the whole area of the rod. So he filled it with xenon. I'll tell you why you call it as a flash lamp, not just a helical lamp. And from this, flashes are produced in the form of pulses. Why? Because if you're taking the flash lamp, helical lamp, the circuit is that there will be a capacitor connected to a very high voltage and a resistor. So when the capacitor is discharged, the pulse will be emitted. And when the capacitor gets charged, the pulse will be stopped. So that's the reason why whenever it is emitted, it is emitting very high voltage, around 20 kilovolt. Hence you call it as, it will be emitted out like flash. Hence you call it as a flash lamp. Hope you have understood it. So this is the diagram which shows you how the flash lamp glows with much high intensity. And the optical feedback here, as we have discussed in my previous video lecture, you need two reflecting edges. One along the output, on whichever side you want the output of the laser, that output should be partially reflecting, and the other output, the opposite of it, should be fully reflecting. So if you take internal mirror configuration, it's nothing but you take the medium itself, which is a rod, and you allow one side to be half silvered, which is known as partially reflecting, and the another side should be fully reflecting. And the green color one is the flash tube, and you know that this is the rod. So this is the side from which you get an output. So thus, this is an internal mirror configuration. There is one thing like you can arrange the end mirror also, which is known as external mirror configuration. You place mirrors on either side. There is one more thing, like you can even place them on either sides attached, or you can even place them apart. Okay, apart like this, and the rod is placed like this, and there will be knobs here. I have given you one reference at the end. If you look into that, you can see the experimental setup, and the mirrors will be like this. And when you rotate these knobs, you can change the angle of inclination so that the mirrors are exactly parallel to one another and perpendicular to the axis of the active medium. So these are the two types of the external mirror configurations. Moving ahead, this is the exact complete experimental setup of the laser, a ruby laser. You are seeing that the helical flash lamp is surrounding the rod, and there is a power supply with a capacitor, and that's how the complete setup is. So now, what exactly is happening? First thing is the flash lamp, once it emits the flash, the high voltage electricity, it causes the intensity to get into the active medium and excite some of the atoms in the ruby crystal to higher energy levels. You can see the arrow marks which are impinging into the active medium in yellow color shape, and yellow color, and the blue color things are the atoms. So now what will it happen after some time when these atoms are getting excited? What will it happen is they may emit some photons. Okay, and this emitted photons will travel in different directions, in all directions, and these photons from one atom may stimulate the other next atom. So like that, the amplification, the light will get amplified. The light whichever is being impinged inside will get amplified, and it will excite the neighboring atoms slowly. And you have the mirrors on either side for reflection. So once it is moving back and forth, emitting this light, it gets more amplified. So the mirrors, this is what it gets more amplified, and here you don't see any. See, here you are seeing just arrows which are being emitting the photons out, but here you are seeing that they are getting collected to one another. That means what? Here the stimulated emission is happening and it is getting amplified slowly. And see here, this is the partially reflecting and this is the fully reflecting. And once it is hitting the fully reflecting and coming back, you are able to see the stimulated emission to happen more when compared to the first end. Thus, you get once the photons leave through the partially reflecting silvered mirror at one end, the laser light is being emitted out because of the photons and the excited atoms. And this is the major mechanism which is happening in the active medium when it is surrounded by the helical flash lamp. So this is the complete setup if you want to draw in your notebooks. And I have explained this in my previous video lecture. Just this gives you a big picture of how the red atom, which is one single excited atom, allows the other black atoms, which are unexcited atoms, to get excited slowly because of the absorption of the light from the flash tubes and gets stimulated. And because of the multiple reflections, it allows the other neighboring atoms also to get stimulated, and this stimulated emission of radiation bursts out from the partially reflecting end as laser. You can see the animation here, which helps you to know that once there is a pulse, the laser is coming out. And once the pulse gets off, or once the flash gets off, the laser output is ceased. Now the laser is on and it stopped. Now that the flash has come, the laser is on. And once it stops, it stopped. That's what you have to understand, that the laser is not continuous, but it is in the form of pulses. Why is it so? It's because the system is three-level system. What is it happening is you are impinging light of around 5500 angstrom, and this light is absorbed by the chromium atoms, and these atoms will excite to the higher levels, falling into the regions of green and blue wavelengths. And these chromium atoms, when excited to the 4f2, as I can mention, and 4f1, due to the absorption, I can mention them as absorption bands. They make a non-radiative transition to the lower energy levels, which I can mention as 2e2 here. 2e2. Just I'm making a difference because those are F. I want to make it as E because this is a separate state. Okay, so now because it is making a continuous transition from the lower to upper, that is 1, if I say 1 to 3 and 3 to 1, 2 can be a metastable state. And because there is a continuous pumping from the flashes, what will happen is stimulated emission will happen between 2 and 0, that is first level, ground level, bringing out two emissions. Why? Because the second metastable state is a doublet, which you will be seeing in this video. You can see a metastable doublet energy levels. So you will get 6943 angstrom and 6929 angstrom of stimulated emission of radiations. But here you will observe that 6943 angstrom is more dominating than 6929. Hence you consider laser as 6943 angstrom. So here is our animation, which you can understand that once the flash lamp is on, all the atoms from the ground state excite to the third energy level, and once the resonating medium is happening, yes, the population inversion is happening and the laser is being emitted out. So the flash lamp on is very clear, where the atoms excite from the ground state to third state, and yes, excite it and then comes down spontaneously. And once there is the resonating cavity hits back, you can see that the laser is coming out because of the amplification. It's just a simulation to make you understand that the resonating cavity plays a major role in amplifying the stimulated emission of radiation. So the constraint here is the pumping flash longs for only 1 millisecond, but it builds stimulated emission rapidly and it depopulates the E2 faster than the pumping rate. So what will happen is, as we have discussed in the 3-level laser, the stimulated emission will be more dominating than the absorption. So the lasing action will stop momentarily. But the care will be taken that before the output will fall to 0, the population inversion will be built up between E0 and E1. If you take E0, E1 and E2 as the levels from low to higher, and the population inversion which is built up, the lasing action will be initiated again. So this repeats itself before the pumping flash ends, and once when the laser output is studied with time, we will see that with time, when you see the output, you'll see the flashes which are coming out, the energy in the form of spikes. So this peak powers will be of the order of kilowatts, but though it is not of continuous wave, it has many applications, like you can use them in distance measurements using pulse echo technique, and you can use them in pulsed holography, and in mechanical systems you can use to trim the resistors and integrated circuit masks. And if you want to drill high quality holes which are of very narrow diameter, then you can use them. In military, you can use them to target designators and range finders, and in research you can use them to clean your surfaces like plasma production, and in order to study the atomic spectroscopy levels, you can use them through fluorescence spectroscopy. I end up this encouraging you to study the experimental arrangement. Please look into this video. You can understand the experimental arrangement of the ruby laser, and this is the fine explanation of how to celebrate the success of research by Theodore Maiman. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. So, in your course or in your life, whenever you have failure, please don't heed to the failures, but please more pay attention to the lesson what you learn from the failure so that you can celebrate success in your future. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.